This breakfast is huge. It is almost 2 pounds of food. And if you compare that to something like a Starbucks breakfast sandwich, really any fast food breakfast sandwich, this is going to keep you fuller, longer, feeling better throughout the day. And in the end, it just tastes better. I mean, this is awesome. This giant bowl of food has about the same calories as your standard breakfast drive-through coffee drink. And I'm not exaggerating when I say 2 pounds of food. I weighed it. This is just about 2 pounds of food. And it's around 500 calories. And when I really got into the nitty-gritty of losing weight, this was one of my go-to breakfasts. When I started doing stuff like this, that's when weight loss started to get dramatically easier. My gosh, it's so good. So let me show you how to make it. We'll talk about some meal prepping of it. This is a quick video. Let's just run right into it. This is so easy. Three ingredients. I know I've gone over a lot of this stuff before, but this is kind of like the tweaked version that I'm now making constantly. Okay, so I'm gonna make a few days worth of this. Super easy, extra thick rolled oats. I love this stuff. A day's worth is about 35 grams, dried, roughly 125 calories, about a third cup, heaping third cup. I'm making 2 days worth. So we're gonna be sitting around 70 grams or 2/3 cup. Then the chia seed, we're gonna mix it all in one. This is overnight oats, overnight chia seeds, 15 grams of chia seeds, which is again, about a heaping tablespoon, and then maybe a little bit more, maybe about a tablespoon and a half actually, yeah. So again, 30 grams is going into this container because 2 days. Look at that. So I did 15 grams on the first one, which was like a tablespoon and a half, and then I just scooped another whole tablespoon in, and it was another 15 grams. So I do think it's a little over a tablespoon if you're not gonna weigh it. Now, your best bet for caloric load and protein, if you wanna do that, is going to be soy milk, unsweetened, organic soy milk. This one's vanilla. I do like the flavored version, but you do you. That's 250 milliliters, a little over a cup. I'm thinking it's about over a cup. So, and we're actually throwing 500 milliliter in this because we're gonna get 2 scoops out of it. 2 breakfasts, 2 days. If you want, you can make 3 days ahead of time. This will be good for 3 days in the fridge. You do you. Now in here, I'm gonna add just a bit of vanilla extract just for some more flavor. A little pinch of salt because I like salt. And we're just gonna give this a nice little mixy mix and then toss this in the refrigerator overnight to be enjoyed tomorrow, which is plenty of time for today's sponsor. Gang, I know you get on me about my recipes. I do my best to get them on the website, but that's why I gotta tell you about this app. Because I know how hard it is to organize your favorite recipes. I can't even organize my own recipes. Until I found Resemi, today's sponsor. Resemi is the world's most popular recipe organizer. I've told you about this one before. It's incredible. You can import recipes directly from Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, Google, and more. Even my website, you can import the recipes from. I just click share on my phone, share to Resemi, and boom, there it is. All laid out with the ingredients, instructions. I can even add notes. I can add each recipe to a grocery list. It's a breeze. You can create multiple grocery lists with a single tap, organize recipes into their own cookbook collections, and even add recipes into your weekly meal planner, which makes meal planning a breeze. So gang, you gotta check out Resemi. It is awesome. Click the link in the description below for a free 2-week trial. Resemi, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for making recipe organization so incredibly easy. Okay, so it's the next day. So when I lost all of the weight, one of the big things wasn't to figure out what to cut, it was what to eat more of. A large, big breakfast, something like this, really made the difference in the day. Because the one thing that I noticed in all of my attempts in the past was if you're just eating less of everything, you're hungry all the time. So trying to make large amounts of food that are less calories is where you're gonna win this race. So this mixture, this is definitely wetter than your average overnight oats. You can adjust how you want, but I kind of want this because of the protein. We're gonna have half of this mixture here. Now I'm gonna weigh everything again just to make it easy. Personally, I love a soy yogurt. I went to the grocery store the other day to get some. They didn't have any soy yogurt, so I ended up picking up, this is like a coconut yogurt. This is gonna work really well. It has a good flavor, it's sour. I don't ever really get any of the sweetened stuff. I do get a lot of like the vanilla flavored, but this is gonna be about 80 calories per 170 grams. We're only gonna be adding around 100 grams here. Now, I'm gonna be using some fresh fruit that I just cleaned here. You could use fresh, you could use frozen. Sometimes frozen is really nice because of the texture. Now, we're gonna be adding 100 grams of blueberries. I'm also adding 100 grams of blueberries to the floor. Walker will find that extra one there. I'm gonna be doing about 50 grams of these blackberries. You could do raspberries, maybe about 150 grams of strawberries. Now this is gonna give us a sweetness, some carbohydrates that we're gonna be using for energy, along with fiber. Now, I like to slice my strawberries. Now, if you use soy yogurt, you're gonna end up with more protein than what we got here, which is gonna also help keep you fuller longer. Now, I do a breakfast like this probably 2 or 3 times a week. You could do this every day for a while you got used to doing these big bulk breakfasts, because when you're done with this, you will feel full. Let me see where we're at. I'm gonna add all of this into my nutrition calculator. All in all, right now, I only did 100 grams of strawberries instead of the 150, and you are close to 500 calories right here. 500. And it's massive. This is a 2.5 pound bowl of food that if you put this all down, you are going to be full for a while. It's crazy. You're close to 21 grams of fiber, probably close to 20 grams of protein, which I know is not a ton of protein, but the fiber protein combination, along with the resistant starch from the overnight oats, that's going to keep you full. The resistant starch from the overnight oats is a powerhouse. I don't think people utilize that enough. And because of the soluble fibers, the chia seeds, the oats, you actually have a cholesterol reduction. A breakfast like this has been shown to reduce your overall cholesterol by 5 to 10%, which is mind-blowing, huge, and it's wildly good. So here's why this works as a daily breakfast. Like I said, you could prep 2 days at a time like I did, 2 or 3 days in like a large bowl like that, or you can prep all 5 days. You could do individual mason jars. If you're doing frozen fruit, it makes it even easier. But the overnight oats with the chia seeds will stay fresh, and you end up with just a simple, good breakfast. If you wanted to add a little bit more, you can add some more protein. You can add hemp seeds, which would be really great. Any seeds or crunch on top would really, really top this. Even some just simple granola on top would be pretty good. This is a little chocolate granola that we have. Some pumpkin seeds and everything, and we're not really adding a whole lot here, just a small little handful, maybe another 40 calories. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about before we went was the cost. Everything here might be around $30 to $40 in groceries. If you use frozen berries, it's going to be a lot cheaper. But once you break down the cost per meal, you're a little under $4, which for a breakfast like this is pretty incredible and still cheaper than your breakfast sandwich. The other benefit is I loaded this up. I tried to hit the 500 calorie max here. You don't have to do that. You can use half of this, a 250 calorie breakfast, which is going to be incredibly light. Leaves you a little bit more room for snacks later, but you'll also have the full feeling throughout the day. It's a lot, even if you were to cut it in half. So volume maxing with food is going to be my go-to. I want to talk about that a lot more. I definitely am going to be talking about a lunch coming up soon. Let me know if there's anything else you'd be interested in. I don't really like to volume max my dinners, but lunches and breakfasts, keeping you fuller throughout the day, you're going to feel pretty dang good at the end of this.